Alright, YouTubers, I'll show you my leaf spring shackle on the one side I have done. And then I'll kind of show you all the tools I used, because I don't have the big air guns and the big enough air tank and compressor and all that good stuff. So I'll show you how I managed to do it with basic tools that I have already. I had to go buy a new grinder and a Dremel, but other than that, you know, and the new parts obviously. It's very tedious and it was a lot of work, but I'll show you here. Let me flip the camera around. Alright, like I said, regular tools. I don't have no impact anything. This is what was left. I had to torch it out and all that other good stuff. There's a new one installed. A little tedious. Couple knuckle busters. Nothing out of the unusual. Working on an old rusty truck. This is my 94 Ranger, so yep, that's it. The back's already been replaced at one point in time, so that worked out pretty good. New shocks. And whenever my shackles broke, it took that drive shaft and I had to replace the seal because it stuffed the yoke in there and burned up the back of the housing. So I have molten aluminum metal on my truck. You can see it right there. And whenever it collapsed, it burned that seal out too, so that was pretty sweet. So I had to replace that seal. You can see a nice new seal right there. Put a little extra silicone gasket maker on there just because it created quite a mess. I went ahead and changed the trans fluid. Alright guys, alright YouTubers, here you go. That's my other leaf spring shackle that I still have to replace. Clearly it's done. I have to grind these bolts down. Well, not bolts, I'm sorry, rivets. I have to grind the rivets down. I'm gonna have to grind that bolt down right there so I can get that sleeve out of there. And it's on the gas tank side, so I have all the gas tank, the brake lines. There's wire harness back in there too, so I got to be careful, because what I'm going to do is grind the rivets down. Try to just hammer them out if I can. If not, I'll have to carefully heat them up and hammer them out. And there's a rubber boot inside there. You can see it on the back. There is a metal sleeve in between the leaf spring itself and a rubber boot, but the other side was all rusted out and stuck. So I ended up using a Dremel tool to grind it down and hammer pieces out. That ended up working. But I'm going to have to burn this boot out with a torch. All I got is the propane torch seemed to do it. Took about a half hour, 45 minutes. Well, that's my next project. I'll record the steps as I go, but I'm starting to lose daylight. And then you want to make sure you got your jack stands underneath there for safety. I got 2 jack stands, the jack on the other side. Alright, this is what I got so far. Started grinding on that top rivet. Got an old junky damp towel stuffed up there to catch the sparks, because the you know, gas tank's all up over there. You know, basically I'm just coming at it into the angle grinder. I'm at it in there sideways like that, just chewing away at it. So that's where I'm at. Alright, didn't take too long. Got that top one ground down. Use my hammer and this big old screwdriver. My Bammer. I love that thing. Yep, I just put it on the edge, hammered it, it popped right out. So I'm gonna do the same thing for down here at the bottom. Grind that down. And after I get this old piece of metal popped off of there, then there'll be a lip. There's that lip right there. I'm gonna heat it up a little bit and just beat the crap out of it with a hammer. Hopefully it pops out. So hoping the other two cooperate. Alright, I'm gonna get back at it. Alright, I got the bottom one ground down. See how it's round? You can see the lip on the inside of there. That's what you're looking for whenever you're grinding it down. And it should just all pop off. And then after you get these rivets hammered out, I took my angle grinder and cleaned all this up and repainted it before I put the new one on. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to try to carefully heat these up, get them a little warm, get it expand so I can hammer them out. So far so good, other than an emergency brake cable getting in the way and all that good stuff. So fun. Alright, what I ended up doing here was I ended up grinding it down flush to the frame, because whenever I was hitting with the hammer it just pickled out. And so I ground it down flat, heated it up until it turned discolored, and got some good leverage with my screwdriver and just kind of sat it on there and just got a few good swings and it popped out. So on to the bottom one. So hopefully heat's going good. Well, I got this side done. That top one came out pretty easy. This bottom one, as you can see, I had to really beat on it to get it out after I ground it flush. That one I didn't have to do anything other than hit it and it just popped right out. And I ground down the surface rust so I can paint it. That's all that's left of it. That's the old shackle. Supposed to look like that. So, yeah. If your shackles are rusty, I recommend replacing them. Now I gotta cut the head of this bolt off so I get this emergency brake cable holder off, and get all this off of there so I get to this rubber and burn that out with a torch, because I'm not getting that off because I don't have an impact. So gotta do it my way, which worked out pretty good on the other side. It just took a little bit, but that's where I'm at right now. A couple hours into it, I guess, and I ran to the store too, so this far with the 2 hours into it ain't too bad. Alright, that's where I'm at so far. I grounded that bolt down all the way, and then as you can see, it just started to pop loose itself. It's a little hot. So all I do is have to pop this out of the way with my screwdriver, and I'll be able to pop this off. Now I can start burning out that rubber boot. And yeah, that's where it's at so far. Yeah, that came out. that bracket out of the way. Yeah, that one's gonna take some hammer. It's gonna take some finagling to get that off of there, so let me get this part off. Alright, so this is where I'm at now. I got all those rivets out and the brackets and stuff like that, so and my beard's fairly intact. Only a little bit of burn hair smell from all that grinding, but I'll show you what I got so far. Okay, right here, if it focuses, let's see, I ground it down to all that extra rubber, ground all that down, got my water hose out, because I'm going to have to burn all this out, and took some tie wire, tied the brackets up, took some sheet steel I have, using that kind of like a heat shield because my fill tube's right above there, and then come on, there we go. So here's that rubber boot. It was all, had a bunch of excess rubber, so I ground it all down, and then went and got my bottle jack. Jack that all up. So I use my bottle jack here to hold the leaf spring down, so I can makes it easier to access it. I know there's a fill tube up there, not even the right size one, but that's how I got the truck. Here's my heat shield, some leftover sheet metal from my ductwork on my house. So I got that tied up. If you don't have a tie wire, I recommend getting some baling wire, mechanic wire, whatever, and then zip tie it up. You can do that too, you know, just get it up out of your way. So I got plenty of room in here to burn out all this excess rubber with a flathead screwdriver. So I'm gonna have my torch and a screwdriver, dig it all out until I can push this whole part out, and then I'm gonna Dremel the inside, clean it up with a cutting disc on my Dremel. I'll show you that once I get to that step. But make sure you got like something for a heat shield on this side where the gas tank is, and you know, also make sure you got your water hose handy just in case it gets a little out of control. But the other side, whenever I was burning it out, all I had to do is really just pull the flame away from it and blow on it, and it would go out. So hopefully this one goes as smooth. I'll get this thing put back together today. Alright, I'm gonna start burning this rubber boot out. Probably gonna have to swap tanks here soon. This one's getting a little low. Yep, just gotta sit here and burn away at it. Yeah, it's a lot easier to do with two hands. Just burn away. It's probably one of the easier parts. But I'll get back with you because this is going to take a little while. I'll let you know how long. Probably about a half hour of just doing this. So burn a little bit, then dig at it, and burn a little bit more. That's the only way. Smells like a giant burnt vacuum cleaner belt. It sucks. Yeah, as I'm burning big chunks of rubber out, make sure you got gloves and safety glasses and all that good stuff. That stinks. A little tedious, but just burning that rubber boot right out of there. Seems to be coming along pretty good so far. Keep working at it. Careful, you don't want no melted rubber on your skin. It'll melt right down to the bone if it hits your knuckle. I've already found that out the hard way. But just keep digging at it, just like that, and it'll come out of there. Alright, still digging at it with my screwdriver. And then I just been digging at it and occasionally hitting it with the hammer. And I'm almost all the way through. So that's where I'm at. The heat shield's working good. It's not getting hot up there, so got some good flamage going on. And that's what I've been doing. Just digging it out. I'll get rid of that rubber, then I can get that Dremel tool in there and get all that old metal sleeve cleaned out of there so I can hammer the other sleeve in there. So, yep. Still going at it. Well, I was blow torching it and digging it up with the screwdriver, and that popped out. I'm gonna get that out of the way. That's a crispy critter. Yep. That would be it. But I still got some rubber inside that hole. I'm gonna burn this out. Oh yeah, look at that. Scrape this all out. Oh, there's a chunk of metal right there. We got all that old rubber. I'm gonna see what I can get out with my hammer and this screwdriver here. Just kind of hammer on it. Get whatever chunks of metal I can out of there. Yeah, you can see all that old chunks of steel and rust. Got a lot of that old stuff out of there just by hitting on it. That's the stuff that needs a Dremel. Dremel that down a bunch of grooves and then just hammer it. And that'll all come out of there. Then I'm ready for my new sleeve. Dremels don't like rubber, so I'm gonna burn the rest of that rubber out of there and hit it with a hammer. And then chisel it out with my screwdriver. And then the new one's ready to go in there and start putting it back together. Alright, so far, using my claw hammer to kind of break the rust chunks loose. Then I just kind of smack it with my hammer. That gets a lot of it loose, and then I'm using this to chisel away at that stuff there. So I use my claw, my hammer, kind of grind it down. That breaks a lot of the big stuff up. And I just smack it with the hammer a couple times. Get some big pieces falling out of there. Pretty good sized stuff falling out. And then whatever I can't get, I'll just go in there with my Dremel and clean it up. Then I should be able to hammer in the new sleeve. And then see how it goes from there. Oh yeah, having the bottle jack back a little bit further makes it a lot easier. So I repositioned it. It's working pretty good. Took my heat shield out. No damage done. That's pretty good flamage going. Check out this pile of rust. Just gobs coming off of there. Rubber and rust. I'm gonna have to sweep my whole driveway. Oh yeah, make sure you get all the leaves out of the way. Caught some leaves on fire. That was always fun. Too bad it ain't worth no money. I'd have a pile of it. That's pretty funny. But yep, this is what I got left over. This is the one all the rubber I burnt out. Yeah, that's still a little on the warm side. So that's the end I ground down. That's what's left of that. That was there. Ground that down. Here's the old rivets. Fun stuff. And that's all that's left of the both sides, man. That's it. It's definitely time for new ones. I recommend whenever they start getting bad, just replace them before they completely break, because then they create a whole nother world of work and headaches. So now I get to finish cleaning that out and install the new parts. Alright, got my Dremel all set up with the cutting disc. Not the ideal one, but it'll do the same, because I gotta get in there and cut all that out. Really? Just exploded on me. Alright. And I got a couple extra. Let's try that again. I have a funny feeling this one ain't gonna work. I recommend having a bunch of extra one of those. I don't think those were meant for actual cutoff discs, because this one's not. See, it don't have no reinforcement in it. The one I used on the other side was a little bit bigger, and it was more like a grinding disc, cutoff disc. It was about as thin, and it worked way better than those. So luckily I got a whole bunch of those and some good safety glasses, because I'm gonna need it. Finish getting the rest of that out of there. Yep, that all has come out, so it's nice and smooth. Alright, I should have used my Dremel a little more. I ended up having to beat the snot out of that thing to get it in there. But it ain't pretty, but it's in there. Ended up bending it a little right there, but I am not too concerned about it. Got a little bit out here. You just want to make sure it's about the same, and then you just gotta bolt this on there, move the jack, and get this sleeve inside the new bracket. Fun stuff. A little wore out from pounding it in there, but it worked. Whew, what a workout. Hope I don't have to do this again for a while. Alright, this is where I'm at so far. Got these all tightened up. I ended up having to drop the gas tank to push it out of my way to get my little hands up in there. Used a couple wrenches. This one was on the outside. It's a ratcheting wrench. Worked out pretty good. And I use a standard regular one up on the inside of the frame to hold the locking nut on the inside. Talk about a pain in the butt, but it's in there. I just gotta bring my bracket back down, feed my bolt through here. The hole don't line up, so I'm gonna hook a ratchet strap up Hook a ratchet strap up to that bolt on the axle for the U-bolt, holds the leaf springs in place, and then hook it up in one of them holes up there to pull the axle forward so I get the bolt through there. And then after I get that bolt in there, tighten up them bolts back up on the gas tank, and I just have to put the tires on, and then the job is done. Only took this job for both sides about 16 to 14 hours. Depends on how involved it is. This was a pain in the butt, but almost there. Alright, now I'm about to put the bolt in there. Looks pretty well evened up. Looks like it should slide right in and through. I ended up hooking up my ratchet strap to there. That pulls the axle forward, so I get the bolt in there. And I got my other jack because it needed to go up a little bit higher. So I got a ratchet strap hooked up there. So I just ratchet it forward, get it where it lines up good, and then stuck my jack under there. I gotta go up a little bit higher. Now, a little finagling. Boom. I do believe that went through all the way, but I just forgot to put my emergency bracket back on, so now I gotta take this back out and redo it. So yay me. I'll get back with you after the job is done. So don't forget to put your bracket back on like I just did. Damn it. Alright, with the breaker bar, cheater pipe, and my wrench, and a hammer, of course. I got this back on with the bracket. I'm gonna spray paint it so it don't rust out real fast. But got all that torqued down. So now I just have to move my jack, the ratchet strap, and put the tires back on, and it's good to go. Next weekend I will be adjusting the brakes because I had a buddy in there, and with the car in gear, he was pushing the brakes and these weren't stopping like they should be, and the whole thing comes off real easy. So I gotta get in there, clean it up, see if I need new brake pads. I know it definitely needs to be tightened up. There's a little star screw down here to tighten up, because that should not be that easy. So got an issue there I still have to fix, and I'll be doing back brake lines on it pretty soon because this is starting to get pretty rusty. And I don't know about you, but I don't like when brake lines go on me. I redid all of them except the back, so that's next weekend's project. But this one's coming to a close. I feel good about it, so I'm gonna put the tires back on and get the stains out from underneath here and clean up for tonight and get ready for work in the morning. So anyways, thank you YouTubers. Don't forget to like and subscribe.